when I decided to run for selectman, my daughter said to me, "Daddy, why are you running for selectman?" And I looked her in the eye and I said, "Because I want to do it so you could afford to live in this town someday." I've lived here 7 years, and my children go to school here, and we love it. Okay, but in 7 years I lived here, my taxes have gone up over 60%. That's not a solution. Do I need to plan for the next 7 years for my taxes to go up another 60%? We can't continue to keep doing the same things over and over every year, following the same processes, following the same leadership, and expecting different results. That's why I'm running. I'm running because I want my children to be able to afford to live here someday. We hear a lot about the senior citizens in this town. When are we going to do something for them? How long has it been since we actually did something for them? That's why I have a focus. You can go to my website, it's electmikeprisco.com, and you look at my focus areas. And I've been over and over on this. The only future for this town, and we're so fortunate to have it, is that industrial base. Building the strategic plan to market our town, it's a good place to bring a business. You increase that industrial base, that brings in the additional revenues we need. Every year, we talk about cuts. We talk about how we're gonna fund the schools. We can't keep focusing on every year. We need to focus on 5 years. Where are we going to be in 2015? Next year, we're talking about FY 2011, and the school's got a shortfall of $324,000, and we're happy. We're actually happy, that's all it is. But nobody wants to talk about next year when we're looking at possibly multi-million-dollar shortfalls in our schools. Somebody should have been years ago focusing on that. Okay, we talk about new growth in this town. You looked at new growth last year. We had a great deal going. The booming of the housing market. We were building homes in town. We had Edgewood. We're building those apartments up there. Right? We had good new growth. Guess what the budget was for new growth for FY 2011? $800,000 for this year, $50,000 for next year. You just don't fall off a cliff like that. We need to have leadership in place that's looking forward. That's my background. That's my strength. The 7 years I've been here, I've been a member of the Park and Recreation and learned a tremendous amount about our town. Two out of those 7 years, I was the chairman of the Physical Advisory Committee. What a wonderful committee. We worked day and night on ideas. And you can go to our website. You can go to, Google FAC North Reading. You go to our website. Every idea we researched, every solution we came up with, we documented. It's all in there. We've done so much, and I've learned so much about this town. I've read every single contract. And I do know where there is a lot of issues we can change without really, truly hurting the employee. It's not about hurting them. It's about working together. We cannot run this town like it was back in 1990. We need to go forward, and that's why I'm running. I'm running because I want my children to live in this town.
Well, thank you very much, and I think now it's time for a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and now, if you can do whatever you want, but we are now going
Change
to the
places.
portion where we have our unopposed candidates, if they want to come up here, or just,
Good luck, Bob.
okay. Okay. Yeah, you could, I'm sure, if I call a name, they're gonna know who they are.
Better watch that guy.
You just sit down.
He's stuck. You guys like?
Wait to hear. I'm gonna sit right here.
No, you know my other brother, she.
Okay. And, are we all? So, if we could have, a little quiet, we're gonna hear from our, unopposed. Are we all set?
My job is to sell the
Okay. Sit down, please. Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you. And now is an opportunity for the unopposed candidates to take a few minutes to tell us about themselves and about the office that they are seeking. And first, we're going to hear from the town moderator, Mr. Murphy.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this event. It's been my honor and privileged to serve as town moderator since 2004. Prior to that, I had served a term on the Board of Selectmen, and I had also served on the trustees of trust funds, and prior to that, had served on the elementary school building committee for a number of years. I thoroughly enjoy the job, and it's something no one else wants, however. I am running unopposed again. I hope to beat that Mr. Blanks one more time. But I'd like to take just a couple of minutes, actually, to talk about town meeting. Town meeting is the purest form of democracy. I think it's important for individuals to participate in the process. I understand it can be intimidating. There's at the town's library, there is a copy of this DVD produced by the Mass Moderators Association. It's called Town Meeting and You. It's maybe 30 minutes or less out of your time, so you could go to the library, check it out. I'm hoping that happens a lot, so I bought some extra copies, which I'm going to donate to the library, so that, and the Mass Moderators Association, which I'm a member of, has put this DVD together to try to take a little bit of that confusion away from the process. It's still a confusing process, but if you attend, you get to know the process pretty quickly. That's how I first got involved when I lived in Stoneham. I attended town meeting, and I just sat there. And you learn the process as you attend. And fortunately for North Reading, our town meetings, typically we finish in about a session or two. So it's not that much of your time. I actually ran into someone recently from Arlington. They have them 2, 3, and 4 weeks long. So it's not that bad. So again, I would encourage folks, it's called Town Meeting and You. It's a DVD available at the town's library. And again, it's been my honor and privilege to serve you as town moderator, and I look forward to serving you again for my 7th term. And please vote on May 4th. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to have to ask you to introduce yourself.
My name is, well, first I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for running these events. It's especially with the Board of Selectmen, that was a great thing to watch, to hear all the different opinions and everything. And I think it helps people to work their way towards a decision on a vote. My name is Warren Pierce, and I'm currently a member of the Community Planning Commission, and I am also running unopposed. I am a lifelong resident of the town. I've been on this board about 18 years now. The planning board is a we call it a working board. We're responsible for subdivision control, which is the residential development of properties in the town. We review all the plans that come in. We provide engineering peer review for them and make sure that they meet, all the current zoning bylaws, and that they don't infringe too much. Through public meetings, we try to mitigate the infringement between these subdivisions and any other existing residential properties that exist. We also do site plan review. That's a commercial review of a commercial development, again, through public meetings, providing peer review as well, engineering peer review, to make sure that those particular projects don't clash too much with any abutting residential properties, and that they fit into the location that they're going to be, that they look good, that they try to, as best possible, match up. So when someone comes into the town and looks at our commercial development, it has a flow, it has a look, and it all fits together. We also do a thing called A&Rs, which are approvals not required, which sounds a little funny, because there is an approval required in some form. And essentially what that is a division of an existing lot into a couple of legal parcels. We make sure they meet frontage requirements and things like that before they are taken off to the registry. It needs to be registered as legal lots. Essentially, we work on zoning issues, primarily zoning issues. Some of the things that we have been responsible for in the past, during my tenure on the board, is things like you heard that 40R program mentioned that was used, that we put in place at the Berry Center there to bring in those apartments, which also generated a tremendous amount of money for the town, approximately $3 million in the end, I think. And that was through grant writing by our planning administrator, and I believe we were the second one in the whole state to take advantage of the 40R process. We also took advantage of the 43D process. We were the first ones in the state to take advantage of that through the planning board. And that provided funding to upgrade all the permitting software in the town of North Reading. And that was important because some of the things that you heard about with the Board of Selectmen and so looking at fees and things like that, having the permitting software updated and in place makes it easier for them to identify areas where there might be possibilities there. So that was a really important thing that we did there. Walmart, we brought in, the town actually asked us, many years ago, we put out a questionnaire asking for what the town wanted, and this is when we had lost our store that we had. We had a Zayres and we had a Ames and things like that, and they all disappeared. And in a store such as Walmart was one of the things that people were looking for, and we actually went out and petitioned Walmart to come to this town. That's how we ended up with them. Stop and Shop was another one that we put a lot of time and effort into the way that store looked. And in the opening ceremonies for that particular store, one of the head people from Stop and Shop came in and said, look at this beautiful store. It's the best design we've ever had that we designed. And actually, the planning board did most of the designing of that, and they ended up using that design in many other towns. So, because it fits so nicely into the site. So those are the things that we've done. I enjoy my job on the planning board. You see tangible results of the work that you do when you are done with a project and it gets built. You get to see something that fits in the town, that's complementary to the town. So it's a very rewarding job to have. Basically, we place controls on the growth of the town and keep it within the zoning bylaws. So I look forward to continuing to work on the planning board. And again, I would like to thank the League for providing this forum for everybody to express their views. Thank you.
Well, thank you both, and thank you all for your service and for running for office.
Yep.
I need to ask Cynthia to come up and tell people when and where to vote, because I don't know.
Okay, I just, once again, I'd like to thank folks for coming out tonight, particularly the candidates that are here, folks that are in the audience, and the live audience back at home, for taking the time out of your evening to look at the democratic process and do right by the town by becoming involved in the election. I would like to thank Mary Jane for coming for the evening, and Mr. Bob Terez and the North Reading Transcript for covering tonight, but also he does wonderful coverage in the next issue that will help our citizens make a decision. I would also like to thank Mr. TJ Johns from the cable company, and this video of the forum tonight will be on the cable numerous times up until the 24 hours before the election. I just want to say thank you to everybody. Don't forget to vote on May 4th, and I believe all the precincts now are incorporated at St. Teresa's, correct?
Yes.
So everybody can vote there. So don't forget, next Tuesday is the big election. Thank you very much.